Hi, I'm Christy.
And I'm Jeremy.
Welcome to Last Call for Plastisol. Cheers.
Hey, Christy, we're going to jump in that episode real quick, but first we want to talk about our sponsors.
We have some great sponsors. The first up is Monarch Color. Ink we use here in the shop.
Yes, we do.
Love it.
Yes, it's very good ink. It does what it's supposed to do. If you want to see what we use and try it out, let us know. Or just look. Yeah, we'll send you a sample, and then you can also just go to monarchcolor.com and find it there. And another person who carries Monarch Color is Blue Ridge Screen Products.
Our guy Aaron at Blue Ridge Screen Products is your partner in print solutions. If you want to up your print game, call Aaron at Blue Ridge. He will help you out with anything you're struggling with in your shop. Whereas it's like emulsion, screens, squeegees, you name it really. Cleaning supplies.
A lot of great supplies, a lot of great companies that he provides that are like top notch. So check out Blue Ridge Screen Products, including graphic screen, fashion screens, which are awesome.
And another thing he carries there is another one of our sponsors, Corchem.
Corchem Chemicals. We talked to them at Printing United recently, and they were saying how they're focusing on sustainability.
Yeah.
And eco-friendly products.
Really interesting. I can't wait for that episode to drop. It's going to be a little bit, but these people really care about the environment and creating products that aren't doing more harm than good. So, and while they do that, the products work.
And their sales guy Barry is really jolly.
Yeah, we love Barry.
And then finally, PMI tape. We put PMI tape on everything.
We do. Even when we shouldn't.
Even when we shouldn't. So I actually heard there's a video coming out talking about that. So
yeah, can't wait to show you guys that one. It's going to be a load of fun. But Andrew and the guys over at PMI Tape roll with efficiency. You want to keep your screens clean, keep your tension right, keep your work area super tidy and on point. PMI Tape is the way to go.
That's right. So without further ado, on with the show.
Bye.
Today on the podcast, we've got Sweet Tea Refill. We've got Jesse and Amber, and Jeremy's eating today on the podcast.
Could I just say that, like, when things happen and I stress out, I have to eat, and that's and things just happen. We recorded damn near a whole damn podcast, and we didn't hit record on the camera. So full transparency, we suck at what we're doing.
We're trying.
We're trying. We're sharing a microphone today because we don't have 4 microphones. It's a learning process, y'all.
Yeah.
We're here for it.
But we are so excited to have you guys here. You guys have a local shop right down the road from us, a couple towns over.
It's Amber and Jesse from Sweet Tea Refill.
Yeah.
Hello.
Did you say that?
I did. You were eating. So, can you guys tell us a little bit about how you got started?
You may go first?
Sure.
Okay, cool. I don't remember what all I said last time.
Don't worry about it.
Okay. So I started my business, accidentally in 2013. I didn't realize it was a business until a little bit later. But I started with an in-home embroidery machine. My mom and I had split custody of it. I kept it 1 week. She kept it 1 week. We blew it out of the water with some anchor monograms. I do remember that. But we thought my mom was going to retire. So this was going to be something we were going to kind of start together. And she didn't retire. So, but when we started doing the individuals, because, before you couldn't really get monogramming unless you went through a company like LL Bean used to put your name on your book bag, but they wouldn't do T-shirts or things like that. So did that, and that started having people send me pictures online like, hey, I would like this with my monogram, which is where I did a lot of researching, and I found out about heat transfer vinyl. Back then, it wasn't a thing in the craft stores, so I actually had to order a press and a vinyl cutter online. And then I found an email one day from one of my shirt suppliers about an NBM show, and it's now called Graphics Pro. And I went there, and I found a sublimation machine from Condi. They were an exhibitor there, and they were printing. They were letting you airdrop a picture from your iPhone or cell phone. Not everybody had iPhones back then. and they were printing it onto phone cases on the spot. And I said, I have to have that. And he said, great, you can step over here and you can write up a purchase order and we can get it done for you. And I said, no, I need it now. Like, I need that right now. And I had a craft show coming up because NBM was normally in the October area.
Yeah,
this is back when it was in October. And so he said, come back tomorrow. Where do you live? And I said, just 30 minutes south. And he said, come back tomorrow. And he told me everything that was at the show so that he didn't have to take it home. And I took his exact same business model and I put it in a craft show at Clover High School. And at that point, that was when I knew I had an actual business, because my line was through the door. I was there 2 hours after the craft show ended, finishing up the orders. It was absolutely unreal. And at that point, I knew I had a business. I ended up quitting my job. I was a dental assistant in 2015. And we bought Sweet Tea in 2017. So we've been at it for 10 years, and that was my journey. Hers is similar. I did add boutique clothes around 2015, because I think I was wanting that extra push of income with me leaving my job. And so I rented space and I sold boutique clothes, which was great because it went hand in hand with monograms at that time. So I was, at that point, I was a little bit of all of the print and boutique as well.
So
Yay.
How did you start in this crazy decorated apparel industry?
So I worked at a doctor's office for a very long time. I was a medical assistant, and we all had little cute cups and stuff all day, and they had to be covered, and you wanted to have something, you wanted your name on it or your monogram. So I told my husband, I want something to cut stickers. He said, well, you can just buy stickers. And I said, no, I want to cut them myself. I want them to be monograms or little polka dots or whatever. So I went to Hobby Lobby. It was either Hobby Lobby or Michael's. It might have been Michael's, because Hobby Lobby didn't have it yet. But I bought a silhouette cameo, and I started cutting stickers. And my daughter was riding horses, and she wanted a shirt for her very first horse show. Her and her little friends wanted to match. So I said, okay, what do you want to say? And she said, I don't know, maybe write it like you stole it. And I said, okay. So I go and I buy Cricut vinyl, like Cricut HTV vinyl, and I cut it with the cameo, and I used a household iron to put it on, and it took forever, like literally forever. Meanwhile, my husband has like, oh, this is cool. I like this. And he had a dirt track car, and he wanted to letter it himself. He didn't want to pay for a wrap. He didn't want to do any of that. So he bought me a big US cutter, vinyl cutter, and a heat press, because he saw me down there with this iron just cussing it because it's taking forever and it's not sticking. And so, I had that, and that's when my little business was kind of born. But I'm like her, it was kind of by accident. I didn't know that it was a business until, word of mouth travels. This person wants this, and then they tell their friend, and they tell their friend. So then you're making shirts for cheerleaders, and then dance studios, and then our high school football team went to the state championship for the first time in years. And I said, oh, I'm going to make a shirt for this. And it was 2-color vinyl on the front and the back. And I must have been crazy, because I don't know how many I sold of those, but I think it was probably about 200, close to it.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
We had an assembly line.
2-color?
2-color front.
Vinyl.
Well, I think it was a 1-color front and 2-color back, but it was vinyl. And we had an assembly line. I had my kids. It was like child labor. I mean, it was crazy. My kids were going. We have 5 kids. So they were all peeling vinyl.
I just like the weeding.
It's horrible.
The weeding's got to be horrible, yeah.
Speaking of that, we interviewed someone, and I know we're on Sweet Tea, but we interviewed someone one time, and she was like, weeding vinyl is so therapeutic. And we were like, you're hired.
Yeah.
This one's hired.
It's a special snowflake. You got to get them.
Literally loved it. We were that one's hired.
We have one guy that works here, and he loves cleaning screens. Loves it.
Yeah.
Comes today he comes to work, and he is the happiest person alive. And I go, this is our special snowflake.
Yeah.
No one is happier.
Great personality.
And no one is happier.
He's like, I got 40 screens. That's what's up.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah, couldn't be better.
But
So-
like, thank goodness for these people that just love their jobs and like love what they do, and you know.
Another thing we'll get a kick out of is my very first embroidery machine that I bought was $800.
Okay.
$800.
What kind of
Yes,
embroidery
it was
machine?
It
was
was
that?
cold.
It was a little brother. It was a single needle, and we killed it.
It was
on
called
that thing.
Little Brother.
Little brother.
Well,
it
you
was
know,
tiny. It
like-
was a home. It was a home
Was it actually
machine. You know, it was a
Good, Jesse really
tiny
wants to
little
say
brother, and it did it. It did the job.
It did actually. So we had separate businesses, and I would call her, "Hey, can you do some embroidery for me?" So she would do. You spelled my daughter's name wrong. I remember that. I will never ever. forget
I
it.
will never forget it either.
Her name is Skylar, and most girls are AR in Amber's
AR.
defense. But so she did embroidery for me, and she would call me and say, "Hey, do you have 5 yards of white vinyl? I need to get it. My shipment won't be here." So she'd get vinyl from me, and I would get embroidery from her or whatever. We actually were gonna partner with some sublimation stuff because I like to hobby take pictures. And so she was like, "Hey, if you want to offer this," and so we were kind of business friends before we were actually friends or partners. Now we're more like family.
Right, good and bad.
Yeah, she's not getting rid of me.
So partnership. Let's get into how you guys met each other, and well, we talked about a little bit how you met each other, but basically how you guys decided to go ahead and be business partners.
Yeah.
So the business that we purchased was listed for sale, but we had just had a conversation the week before it was listed for sale, and we had talked about boutique. She wanted to add boutique to her business, and it was a real hard topic then because no one wanted to help you.
If you see a square, it's bad. Do you see a square?
Circle square.
No, stop. So, do you see anything?
Yeah, I mean, it's a full screen.
All right. Let's hold on 1 second.
Okay.
That's all right. That's good because that's stop. That's stop. That's stop. We're good. We're good.
So,
So, how did you guys become a business together?
okay.
Like,
So we had talked the week before the business we bought was listed, and she wanted to add boutique to her business. I had a boutique space in Rock Hill that I was renting because in my house was a lot. And so I was talking to her about accounts to apply for and how to pre-sell and what not to do and watch for shipping costs and things, some of the mistakes I made in the very beginning, and trying to get her to where she honestly could quit her job. That was the whole goal for her. And I had recently been there 2 years before, and I would have done anything for someone to help me get there. So we had talked, and then we got to thinking, when we were on the phone that night, we said something about how cool would it be if we, I'd love a shop one day. And I'm like, oh gosh, me too. And she said, I'd really like a cute little small town. Like I've always dreamed of this little small town shop like in York, but there's already one in York. And she was referring to Sweet Tea, which is what we purchased. And I'm like, yeah. And York's kind of small for two of the same thing. And the following week it was listed for sale. And I commented on it, but you know how Facebook, like you don't really see everybody who comments till you comment, and then my comment popped up right after her comment, like it was her and then me. So I reached out and I texted her because I didn't want her to. There had never been any point of our business friendship where we had undermined the other. And I was like, hey, I saw you commented. I commented too, but I saw you commented first. Good luck. Like, let me know if it works out. I'd love to help you if you need it. And she called me and she's like, I mean, I really want it, but I don't think I can do it by myself. You want to be business partners? And so I talked to my husband about it because I had been approached by a couple of other businesses, one screen printer and two boutiques within the same year, wanting to merge or go in together, and none of them felt right. I talked to you about one actually.
Yeah.
And it just wasn't there. Like nothing felt right about it. But
was
and
that Brand Pro? Yeah. Okay.
it was.
Okay. Continue.
Okie dokie. So when I said, every single time I had brought it up before, my husband shot it down. Like he was like, absolutely not. They're trying to steal your business. They see you're doing big things. Leave it alone. But he had met her because I used to do all of her embroidery, and she would contract that to me. And So I said, so, sweet tea's for sale. And Jesse wants to know if we want to do it together. And he was like, yeah, that's a great idea. And I was like, for real? I really didn't think you'd go for that. And within the week, we were at the bank signing papers, and Jeremy was there walking through it with us. And we were a business, and it happened quickly. And we didn't know a lot about each other, but we knew we had a common goal. We knew that we both wanted a shop. We knew that we were in our house. We knew we were going crazy. I don't have 5 kids, but I don't have a very big house. So we just ran with it. We both have our end result, like our final goal wasn't identical, but we found a really good middle ground and went with it.
Our whys were kind of the same. Because if you're in business, you have a why. Everybody has a reason they're in business for themselves. And our whys we're moms, and we want to be present for our kids. And when you own a business, I'm sure it's the same in most businesses, but especially in ours, where we have the print side and there's deadlines to meet. And sometimes you have to stay late. I mean, we work till 1 or 2 in the morning in the beginning sometimes. But you want to be there for your kids. It's hard to do it when you're by yourself. So if you have a partner and you understand each other and you work around each other's schedules, it works. So our why was the same. We want to be there for our families. We want to be present as a mom, but we want to be successful in our own lives as well. So you have to have an identity outside of being a mom and a wife. And we had, both of us had that drive to do that.
Yeah, I think that's really important. I mean, Jeremy and I recently merged. You guys know that. And we have both been approached by other businesses in the past. Like, okay, you want to get bigger? Let's join together and merge. And like for me, I can't speak for Jeremy, but for me, it never felt right. Like everything looked good on paper, but like I never was like, ooh, I'm excited about this. Let's go. Or I would just be like, I don't know. And I just like couldn't make a decision on it. And for me, I'm either like all in or it's a no,
Same.
And
Yeah.
And when Jill and Jeremy approached me and we had the discussion, it was a go. Like from the start, I had no reservations about it. Yeah.
An easy yes.
Yeah, and we had done business. To be fair, we had done business with each other, and knew each other. We were in the same screen printing 101 class. I mean, like, so we knew each other from the beginning, and we were kind of starting out, but we weren't like buds.
No.
Like, no, it was just like one of those things where like, it was just like,
I think it's best.
we're doing our own thing. We're doing our own thing. We're going to
Yeah.
try to succeed on our own and do our own thing.
Yeah. And then you get more seasoned and then you're like, okay, let's have a beer and commiserate about what's going
what
on.
the hell's going on.
Yeah.
And I think that like right when you first came over, like it was Jill's like, hey, I know you do screen printing, but do you do embroidery? I'd like to help or something. And
Yeah.
like, Jill was like reaching out and then it was like, oh, that's cool. And then the next thing you know, like we're buddy.
I think when it comes to a business partnership, it doesn't really matter your similarities because we're complete opposite. It's about your mindset. We genuinely want to see other people succeed. We want to see each other succeed. We want to see our employees succeed. We encourage them to do their own thing. I mean, outside of print, of course, but the mindset is a big deal because, the other people that have asked in the past, I mean, if they're underhanded or it comes down to the mindset for us because we can work through you can work through differences, you can work through different personalities and different schedules, but if your core is on the same track, then you can make it work.
Yeah, I totally agree with that because one of the things that I love is I know my customers are never going to be disappointed unless everybody left everything on the floor, and it just didn't work out. Like everyone here is going to do what's right for the customer no matter what. And that's really important to me,
Right.
Yeah.
So
Pause real quick. Super paranoid.
About the customer, So we are a part of a network called the Boutique Hub. And I'll probably reference this more than once because I'm just very passionate about it. Kind of like with you guys with this podcast, it's community over competition. Like there's enough room for everybody to bring something to the table in this industry. And I just forgot where I was going with that.
Boutique Hub. Why you love it.
Why I love it.
All right. Well,
And
it's great.
that's gone.
Oh, the customer. Okay, so I know what it was. Okay, so about the customer. So they have education in this, and she did this whole video, and she says, every customer that walks through your door has a sign around their neck that says, "Make me feel important today." Because, I mean, ultimately, they sign your paycheck. If you think about it, they do. You have to keep them happy. And you want them to be happy. You want them to go and tell their friends or tell other businesses about you and about your business. And so every single staff meeting since we have started, I say it every single time because the customer has to be important and you don't want them to leave disappointed. So, yeah, that is a big deal.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so I'm gonna give you the microphone here in a second. I'm gonna ask the question so you two can have it. You guys have been owners for 6 years, right? 6?
Together.
Yeah, together 6 years. Give Christy and me and Jill some advice on how to work together as freshly new partners in a business.
For me, one of the biggest things is being honest. Like, be honest about your strengths, be honest about your weaknesses. If you're tired, hey, I'm tired. I need a break. I there are times where I pick up her slack, and there are plenty of times where she picks up mine because you're just mentally exhausted, emotionally. We have families, we have things going on, so being honest is a big deal. And learning each other's strengths and weaknesses. We each have our roles. I'm a numbers person. I do our banking. I do our payroll. I do a lot of the stuff whenever it's time to purchase or order stuff. She's like, hey, this is what our order is going to be. Can I push it through? Where do I order it from? But she's also involved with those numbers. Like she knows what they are because I talk about it. It's an open conversation. We always talk about it, but it's just something I do. Every morning I come in and the very first thing I do is banking. And then I print orders from the website. Whereas if we're talking cheer, and we have a lot of cheer customers, and we do a lot of cheer year round. It's one of our biggest markets. It's her. I wasn't a cheerleader. I mean, I made it one time, but I don't think I made it to the season. But she was a cheerleader. That's who she is. She coaches, and she's still very close in that community. So that's her strength. And she's a creator. She's a maker. She's like the biggest hype girl you're ever going to find. So we each have our roles, and we know that at any time we can step in and help each other if we need to. But I mean, just knowing each other, what you can and can't do, and being honest, that's a big deal. Yeah.
When we first became partners, it was like we were joined at the hip. We were so excited about everything. We wanted to work all of the time, and then, you burn out quick when that's the case. And so I think a big thing is we didn't know each other before. And I think that was, looking back, I think that's a blessing, because had I known her, I would have known she was the exact opposite of me. But opposites attract. But, when you're going into it, you're going to be like, well, gosh, she's not loud. She doesn't dance out of nowhere. She's completely rational most of the time. Like, that doesn't sound like fun. And then, thank God, we don't need two of those. So there's times where certain customers prefer to talk to me. Certain customers prefer to talk to her, because I'm not everyone's cup of Tito's, and neither is she. I mean, so it took us a while to learn that, because in the beginning you're new and you're learning things, and sometimes things get said or feelings get hurt, or it just is what it is. And so I'm ready to talk about it right now. She wants to wait till next Thursday. We had to find a middle ground,
But why do I want to talk about it next
About
Thursday?
next Thursday, so that she makes the right words and all of that stuff.
I wasn't always so rational, and I would just speak my mind right then. But sometimes I wasn't being rational when I spoke. So I have learned that I need to think about what I say before I say it, so that I don't say something I shouldn't.
I definitely think hard about it after I say it. So
I will say that like I've always been a person like that. If I speak it, it's like it's out there, right? Like, and I need to speak it like right away. And
Definitely Amber.
right? And then I'm like, but I spoke it, and now it's gospel. Like it's out there.
Yeah.
Like, and I want it to be known that like I'm not putting up with this shit or whatever, whatever the issue is, right? But that's maybe not always the best way to handle things.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and that's what we're learning too. Where as our shop has grown exponentially fast over the past couple of months, like our leadership styles and everything has to adapt to what's happening now, which is crazy.
and it works with employees too, because again, certain personalities appeal to certain people. So there's some where it's like I need to do the talking, and there's somewhere she needs to do the talking.
Absolutely.
So, partnerships. So we caught a lot of backlash
Oh yeah.
when we announced, because it was done before we told it was, by the way, I forgot to tell you, I have a business partner. I'm no longer Burlap and Butterflies. I bought Sweet Tea with Jessie. Who's Jessie? You probably don't. Is she your friend? No. Is she family? No. We didn't get, there was not an opportunity for anyone's input until it was too late.
See, that's really interesting because with us, like we were already connected through the podcast and, we've been friends and everybody knows, like when I told everybody, everyone was like, makes complete sense. And nobody asked any questions. Like
That is not how it went for us.
No, I remember sitting at a middle school football game, and I was talking to somebody, and I was like, "Well, Amber," and they're like, "Who is Amber?" I'm like, "Oh, she's my business partner," and they're like, "What? You have a business partner?" I'm like, "I sure do. I forgot to tell you. Let me tell you about this venture we're on now." But yeah,
It just happened really fast. And so once word was out, we started hearing it from a lot of other people. I mean, we had friends that aren't really our friends anymore because they just couldn't. Well, you should have asked me to be your business partner. I don't want to be your business partner. Like, I mean, I don't want to be my friend's business partner. I mean, I am now, but she wasn't my friend when we started.
Correct,
And
yeah.
so we caught a lot of backlash, and we had a lot of people tell us that it was never going to last, and partnerships are hard, and they are.
absolutely.
But so is marriage and riding a bike uphill, or paying bills. That doesn't stop us from doing any of those things.
Correct,
You
yeah.
know, and so
you choose your hard.
yeah. So our hard is what puts food on our table. So hard or not, we're business partners. We're going to make it work, but we're a force to be reckoned with together. And
Yeah.
so we caught a lot of that. And there's people that we really looked up to. Like there was even, I can remember one business owner in particular. Not you, don't worry.
you can tell me if it was later.
Partnerships are hard, and I mean, just there wasn't a lot of encouragement from that person, and I was like, ouch, because I valued her opinion at that time, and now it's like, okay, but it is hard, but staying open and communicating, it's like a marriage. It's genuinely like a marriage.
It really is.
Can I say that like when people are not quick to say, like congratulations, this is going to be awesome. They want to, like give you some affirmation. They want to they want to bless you by being kind and, excited for you. When they're not doing that immediately, they're jealous.
And they probably don't like dogs.
Right. And I don't want to call that person out, but that tends to be the thing.
Yeah.
Like you would think to be like, man, I just want some, I just want you to be happy for me. Like I want you to be genuinely excited because I'm excited,
Right. And we are those people. I mean, you can come to us with, you just earlier today, we celebrated with you, and we want to be there for all of it. Like one of our employees owns her own business, and she just got her website up and running.
Oh, I love it.
Naturally, we placed her first order because we knew she was announcing her website that night. And so it was a Shopify website, which goes cha-ching when you get a sale. So we videoed her and placed the first order.
And her phone was on silent.
We were like, do you not have any notifications? And she was like, no. And started scrolling through them. And she was like, what does, and it was like a
cute.
shop-wide thing. Like we genuinely want to be those cheerleaders for people. But it's not always the same for everyone. And the partnership thing was a hard pill for a lot of people to swallow, but it worked. We're not going anywhere. I mean,
Yeah, that's awesome.
so
And go ahead.
So I don't know about y'all, but for us, I know there have been a couple of occasions where either one of us have been like, okay, I want to give up. Like, I'm tired. I feel defeated.
Well, we're only a month in.
But even
it'll come. It'll come.
but even not necessarily partnership, but just in business in general, there have been moments where it's like, I don't know if this is even worth it. Do I want to do it?
Oh, hell yeah. I've
yeah.
shown up in this shop and eaten cake out of the fridge and drank beer when I own my own shop.
But the beauty of having a partner, especially a partner that you trust and that has the same vision as you, is that they're not going to let you do that. They're going to say, okay, no, you're just having a bad day. You're just having a bad week. Why don't you go get yourself a bottle of wine? Take a day off. There's nobody at your house right now. They're at work or school. Go home, reset, and come back tomorrow, and we'll take a walk. We'll eat breakfast. Or we come in and we can see the frustration on each other's face. And Amber is really big. She'll say, hey, let's take a walk. Because she knows if she can get me out, I'm going to feel better.
Yeah, I like to go outside too.
Yeah, it's the outside for me. So yeah, we definitely do that. And we also try to meet outside of work on a somewhat regular occasion. But during the work day, so that we're on a structure, and discuss. Like every January, we have a huge meeting, and it lasts all day. And it's just, what do we wish we would have done different? What if there would be one change you could make? If this was your dream business, what would you be able to do? Not how much money would we make? Not because money is great, but at the end of the day, like, I'd rather pick my kid up from school every day, than have to go make him go to daycare or, so everybody has their own things, and we try really hard to implement that because it looks different for both of us because we're at different stages of life. So, for her, it's, I want to go somewhere once a month with my husband. Go girl, go somewhere once a month with your husband. For me, I want to be able to leave early every single time my daughter has a volleyball game. And I'm sure my son will play sports eventually, but I'm going to be there. So it looks different, so we make it work.
Yeah, that's awesome. I really like that advice. So you guys just recently got screen printing equipment, or
Yes.
how recently?
We're like just past the year mark.
Oh, you guys are pros.
Well, so full transparency, we have Amber's sister works with us, and when we were looking at equipment, we were talking. We're like, there were three of us. It was me and Amber and Stephanie, and we still had the retail storefront with the boutique clothes, and we said we're gonna have to hire somebody. Like, who can we hire? Like, who is gonna fit in with us?
Couple days a week as needed, a PRN position.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that. She's now full time, and she has jumped in, feet first, like ready to go. She cleans the screens, she coats the screens, she burns the screens, she does the screen printing. I mean, we help when needed, but she is a freaking rock star.
That's awesome.
She doesn't like when we touch her stuff.
No,
Yeah.
no, it's her
Most
stuff.
printers don't.
So it's not just in our shop then.
No, most printers
Okay.
don't.
Because Stephanie, our other girl, she does.
She'll call out sick, or like if she recently had the Corvid, and she would send us texts like, "Don't touch my stuff while I'm gone. Like, leave it alone." And we're like, "We can't." And we would send like a picture of us laying across the DTG, and she's like, "Leave it alone."
She said we bought it for her birthday. But so we got the screen printing equipment, and Kim came to work, and we all learned how to do it. Stephanie didn't because she has her own things, but me, Amber, Kim, we all did it. And she just kind of took over and loves it. Now, buying that equipment, that was a lot of fun because I saw somebody in the boutique hub, because there's wholesalers in there and graphic tee suppliers or whatever. So there's this place, this company is Halt Mess is what it's called, and they have one of those, I think it's M&R. It's a huge automatic, but they have a digital squeegee. And I'm like drooling, and I show it to her. I'm like, look how cool this is. She's like, we can't afford that. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I love it.
So you've not seen it in person, right?
No, but I am dying
so
to.
ISS Long Beach had it, and it was the weirdest. Like, I know y'all went into a manual right away,
Right.
but like, this thing printed water-based ink, wet. If you can imagine this, it was wet ink, and immediately went into the digital squeegee. The white.
Yes.
The digital squeegee.
Yeah.
Wet.
Yes.
No flash.
No flash.
It's amazing.
And freaking did DTG over top of it, and it came out perfect. And I'm like, voodoo. It's total voodoo.
So it's direct to film without film, is the way I kind of make it equivalent or whatever. But it doesn't have the same feel, because I immediately was like, okay, I need to see how these shirts feel. So I go and I buy shirts wholesale from them. And I'm like, our people are going to love these. These are fantastic. Nobody around here has these shirts. So
It has a really soft touch.
very soft touch.
The hand is great.
It's fantastic, and I'm like, I want this. And Amber's like, I don't know. And I was like, let me just get a quote, because it's time for us. We need to get equipment, because at this point we are contracting anything over 1 or 2 colors and anything over 100 shirts to Rock Hill Screen Printing, and they do a fantastic job, by the way. Of course. Sure, you know, but
I know.
So we're very happy with our relationship with them, but at the same time, you look at your numbers and you're like, okay, well, this is what I'm paying them to print these
They
shirts.
were also the ones that told us we needed equipment.
Yeah.
Jill was like, you take up half my schedule.
Yeah, pretty much. So we finally decided, okay, let's do it. So I immediately go and message them and try to get a quote, and it's like $450 for this whole setup. Now that was us starting from scratch.
450,000.
Yes. And that's us starting from scratch. We have nothing, so we need everything that we could possibly need for this. And Amber's like, no. So I'm like, okay, well, can we get a manual press? And she's like, yeah. So I've learned with her that I can start at the very top of what I want, and then she'll let me get what I really want.
I know what the payment is on 130,000. Can you imagine what the payment is on $450,000?
No.
No.
$500,000.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's insane. But go on, continue.
I'm just patiently waiting for you to get it, by the way.
Oh,
No.
he's not going to calculate that.
He's not
No
gonna
Do you know what it
way.
is?
No. I'm not
Okay.
asking him to calculate the
Do you know
payment.
what it is?
I'm waiting on him to get the equipment.
No,
Yeah,
stop
yes.
that. We're not getting the digital squeegee.
He's still saying no. I don't think many
No.
people have them, so it's not
But
like...
if any digital squeegee manufacturers want to sponsor the podcast, you know where to reach us.
Yeah.
Correct.
And if you need a place to demonstrate them here in South Carolina, we are just one
We
town
can make
over.
a showroom
We
for
can-
you
yeah.
to right here in Rock Hill, South
Yeah,
Carolina.
we can handle this. You're going to let us use it?
Whatever it
use it for
takes.
ya.
Whatever it
It's
takes.
free.
If it's free, let's use it. So yeah, but we ended up going with we had already talked to tech stores before. Like when we first bought Sweet Tea, we had them come and look and just see if it was even an option in that space. And he was like, "Yeah, it is," but we weren't quite ready yet, so we didn't do it. Actually,
Who's
we
your
had
sales
to have
guy over there?
do it.
Who's your sales guy?
Dwayne.
Dwayne.
And I like Dwayne. Dwayne and I have things in common because he's into the horses and the hunting and the
Oh, yeah.
motorcycles, and so we
Yeah.
had some stuff
He's
in
into
common. So we're-
Jeeps and all
Well-
kinds of stuff, and deers, and yep.
yeah. So
John Deere's.
John Deere's.
John Deere's. I'm
John
sorry.
Deere's.
He has a Jeep hat that's upside down that says deer.
Oh, okay. I never.
Like
no, I
it's
haven't.
John Deere.
I've never
versus
seen him
Jeep.
wearing that
It's really
before.
cool.
Haven't paid that much attention.
Anyways, go on.
So we called him back and we're like, hey, I think we're ready for this. So I went to Amber had something going on and she couldn't go on the day that they had that 101 class. So I went, I took my notebook and I'm making all the notes and I'm writing all the things down and I go back to her and I'm like, hey, this is really cool. I watched them do it. I think we can do it. Let's just see. And she's like,
How
"Okay, let's do
hard could
it."
it be?
How hard can it be? So how hard was it, y'all?
It's not bad. I mean, there's a learning curve, but the biggest part of our job in screen printing is watching. So my sister, her name is Kim, she's nailed it, and it took her a little while. I mean, there was a lot of printing a shirt, sending a picture, and then us seeing like, well, if we do it different, does it work? And so there was a big learning curve. Now we have printed without her, which makes us feel really good, but
we're nervous the whole time.
we're super nervous the
Yeah.
whole time. So, but we've got a lot of equipment in our shop, from DTG, embroidery, laser engravers,
Still occasional vinyl
occasional vinyl.
and direct to film.
Yeah. So.
Oh, you guys have a direct-to-film printer?
No, we
No,
don't have the
but
printer, but
Okay.
But we do.
Where do you
it.
get your film at?
DTF NC.
Yeah.
Oh, we do too.
Yeah.
Aren't they nice?
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Jeremy
Jeremy
told
told
us.
us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he told
The
us about it.
podcast. So did you see the podcast with him on it?
He's-
So yeah,
Ibrahim is so
Ibrahim
wonderful.
is so cool.
So nice.
His mom just passed away, so prayers to him.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
that's a bummer.
But so when you guys have a manual printer, how many colors?
It's a 4/6, right?
Yeah.
So
6.
yeah.
So what's your typical job size or color count or anything like that? Well, like what's your sweet spot?
So we've done up to what is Joker's 5?
5.
Yes. So we have done up to 5. And we have printed like 1,000 shirts at a time for one job. We really probably should look at going into getting an automatic. And we're still working out those numbers for that, but I think that we would definitely benefit from it. But we do have a lot of smaller one color jobs that we would definitely keep our manual for. We even explored getting, because she's over here working on multicolor jobs that take a while, right, on a manual press, because you got to flash and do all the things. But we've even looked at maybe getting like a one color, just one station to do.
I have
just
one in my garage
color.
y'all can have if you want it.
Oh,
I've even
Oh,
got
we'll pay you for
a
it,
4
but-
color one station you can have too.
But it's one of those things where it's like, hey,
Please
this
take
week-
them out of my garage so I can stop hearing
So
about
send me your address.
River
I'll
Hills.
be there tomorrow.
It's
Yeah.
free. It's for me. No, yeah. So we've looked at adding that because it would take a little bit off of Kim and it would allow us to help her, because she genuinely does not want us to do it when she's not there. Like we're now closed on Fridays. We are Monday through Thursday from 9 to 5.
Oh, I love that.
We will.
Change our hours. We
I
just changed
saw
our
that.
hours. Yeah,
I
we just
saw
changed
that.
our hours.
Oh yeah, it's good.
That's a Christy thing. Changing
Well,
our hours was a
the
Christy thing.
showroom was closed, but
still
we are still
production.
here. Yeah.
There's usually someone in our store on Fridays as well, but we're not tied to a time. Like, we're not going to say, and we don't open the door, because it's the only time that we catch up. I mean,
Correct.
and it's
We're gonna use that for that, right?
And
For
that's
sure.
really what I want. Our follow up on quotes is not where it needs to be. So we need time when people aren't walking in the door wanting to peruse garments or anything like that. We need to follow up on our quotes so they don't die. We also need to make sure our orders in the system in Printavo are on point. So once they leave the sales team and they go to the production team, all the information is in there. And right now we're running at such a high capacity that the time isn't there to put all the details in.
we struggle with that as well. I think ours is a manpower issue.
Yeah.
We just need more people.
Yeah, and I mean, is there a hesitation for you guys to hire because of like not being able to get out the jobs? Is it like a situation where like you feel like you don't can you justify it? You know, I guess from a business standpoint.
We actually just posted that we're hiring.
Awesome.
We can justify it. It's but we're going into fourth quarter and we have retail too, online. It's online only right now, but it's just a really hard time to train.
Yeah.
But it's
No,
a
absolutely.
necessary time to train. I think one of our biggest unexpected areas of struggle is when we added the press. You know, we've been screen printing at large quantities for years with Jeremy's help, but not in-house.
Yeah.
And so we've had...
And no one's known about that.
Right. I mean, that's been very much it was a contract job. And some jobs we did do in-house using screen printed transfers. So, but when we added the work there's a lot more that goes into it than just emailing Jeremy over the art and what we need. You know, there's so much more. And where we struggled the most was just the unexpected growth plus the increase of jobs, not print jobs in-house that we needed to do, printing films, making sure the art is ready, make sure the ink is there, make sure that the garments are there, make sure there's so much more to it. And with us offering boutique and us printing all of our own graphic tees, and you know, at one point we had wholesale going and we just had to step away from a little bit of it because we had to figure out the new normal for us, which is where closing on Fridays came. The growth happened so fast last year that come January, in that January meeting, we were ready to sell because we just didn't know how to keep we had been so successful with boutique that adding print is the profit margins in print are really good and you don't want to turn that down, but you don't want to lose the boutique. But print's kind of a bread and butter. Our saving grace was that we were that strange customer. We were that strange company that has the boutique side, the print side, the monogram side. So like when COVID hit, we lost all of our big print jobs for 5Ks and things like that, but we didn't lose our monograms and we didn't lose the other stuff.
That's all I could still see a square. I want to know what boutique is. We talked about it before, but it didn't record. So what was boutique?
So for boutique, when we purchased Sweet Tea was labeled a boutique, but it wasn't really a boutique. It was more of like a monogramming shop and some gift items. I already had boutique and she was in the process of adding it. So by boutique, I'm talking denim, dresses, garments that you bring in, you unbox, you steam, and you sell. You don't have to print. You don't have to touch it. You just go straight from box to steamer to rack to bag, you know? And that was exciting because
That's a
back in the
t-shirt.
day when you're weeding...
Box, steamer, rack, tag.
When you're weeding vinyl, like we've been doing for so long, having something that you can, you know, bring out of a box, take a pretty picture, sell it, make money, you're like, oh man, this is easy.
Yeah.
And it was fun. It was fun because we got to try on clothes. And
We
because
only order clothes that we wear.
Because we're leggings and so when we first became business partners, I was jeans and tennis shoes and a t-shirt. That is what I wore all the time. And I still do that, but she has converted me to the leggings and
Leggings love us.
it's every day. Leggings and a Sweet Tea t-shirt. That is, I don't even have any really cute stuff unless I go to the boutique next door and buy something. Since we don't have that retail space anymore, but
We used to have a rule here that, like, if there was yoga pants walking in the front door, I had to go in the back.
that's funny. That's so
Like, no yoga pants.
So we have a rule about yoga pants and leggings. Like you have to
Yeah.
wear a shirt that covers the front and the back. That's the rule.
Yoga pants walk in the door. Jeremy goes in the back. Okay, that's fair.
Fair enough. So we, with the boutique, we've always printed graphic tees are a huge, when I say boutique, let's be clear. You're not going to get anything for a cocktail party on our website or in our store.
Right.
We have functional fashion. So we are selling Judy blue jeans, which feel like leggings, even though that they're denim, leggings, athleisure, stuff that you can run errands in, work out in, go to volleyball games, baseball games. That's not going to break the bank. It's cute, but it's not uncomfortable. Doesn't always even require a real bra.
With all the cute accessories.
Mom fashion.
And that's our customer.
Yeah.
You know, and that's where screen printing grew for us. You know, you've got your sports teams and your PTOs and all the moms that have shopped with us are like, gosh, I can go in there and pick up jeans and my screen printed order. You're like, yes, ma'am, you can.
So what did y'all do during COVID when you had to close your doors?
Oh, so that was before we had screen printing equipment. We were still getting screen printed transfers from Versatrans or Transfer Express, either one, whichever one had the best profit margin. We split our equipment. And so she took 2 embroidery machines home. She took the 2 that we use for like left chest and bags and things like that. And I took the one that we use for hats. And I took that home, and I took our big heat press home. And I think we bought a smaller one, or you bought a smaller one for your house. And we had our vinyl cutters, and we just continued. We
never stopped.
No, we went into survival mode. Like, we had about 3 days where we kind of felt sorry for ourselves before we took anything home. We felt sorry. We were like, oh, this sucks. Our business is going to fail. We've worked so hard for this. We've put everything into this, and now this is awful. And then we were like, you know what? We're not going down like this. We are going to hustle, and that's what we do. And we went into survival mode, and I took every article of clothing from our shop down to like Bella Canvas t-shirts, and I sold them on live sales in my bedroom for they were everyday basic t-shirts that you could wear under a flannel or a cardigan or whatever, tie it on the side, tuck it in the front, make it really cute. And people loved it.
What do you mean by live sales?
Okay, so for live sales, there's now live selling platforms which make life very easy. Back then, we would go Facebook Live, and if she did most of the live sales, actually, she did all of the live sales at her house because I had a little boy that didn't like to wear clothes, and I didn't have a place where I could shelter myself away from everybody. So I would watch the live sales. And I would write down when people would claim it, and we would go back and we would individual email invoice for every single item. And then we would do parking lot pickup, and we would have walkie-talkies in the store, and we would bring all the orders to the store. We even delivered some. Like if they were close by, we would deliver. Her daughter. Oh yeah, her daughter ran deliveries for us. And then, because we were given no notice to shut down, so the things that we had just gotten out, people were waiting for, didn't pay shipping because they were expecting to pick up. We actually took that week and delivered the items. Wow. Yeah. But if they were within driving distance, and some we shipped for free, and, trying to keep them happy. And so we would invoice every single person and on a Facebook Live. And then we got smart and we joined Comment Sold. It was a live selling platform, which automates the whole system. Once they comment, it goes into a cart. They click, they'll get a DM on Facebook or Instagram, or we had an app. So they would download our app, and then once they finish shopping the live, they just go to their cart and everything's there, cool. And they check out. And so, but we try everything on. They see how it fits us. So if they know my body type, and they know who to look at, like what size is Amber wearing, what size is Jessie wearing. So, and if I'm wearing something and she didn't put it on, she's like, okay, I wear this size, and it fit me great here and here and here, a little loose in my shoulders, and we were honest, and that's what our customers really, really liked. The graphic tees are a huge boutique market. We print all of ours in-house, which makes our profit margin substantially higher.
Yeah. So what's your best selling graphic tee that you guys have ever done? What's it say?
Jeremy printed.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
The country song.
Neon Moon.
Yeah.
So we have done our own t-shirt designs, and we buy some off of Etsy or things like that as well, because we change it. We'll buy a design off of Etsy and throw a monogram inside of it somewhere, or add something to it. Sometimes print it just like it is, because there's some really talented designers. And one day the Brooks and Dunn song came on, and it was
that TikTok dance.
No, it was that was before that. But it was the Neon Moon song. Okay. And so we made a shirt design that looked like neon lights. And it was a cactus. And if you're from South Carolina, you probably understood it. But it was the cactus with a crescent moon. So it looked like the Carolina tree and moon, but with a cactus. And then it said Neon Moon Motel. And then it said, "There's always room here for the lonely," because that was part of that song. When we put that on a live sale, we blew through them.
Yeah. You
Wow.
sold them in like one night, right? Or something.
All of them.
Yeah.
There were 50.
Maybe. And we had a,
It was our first one. We were worried to get too many.
right.
Because we were, it was our first one like that, and we were worried to get too many because we were like, that was before we wholesaled.
Right.
So we went out on a limb. We're like, okay, we usually sell about 15 or so of each design. Let's make a jump. Let's do 50 because we're all going to want one too. So it's still hanging in my closet. It's one of my favorite T-shirts. But I remember feeling so bad because I knew how excited you were, Jeremy,
Yeah.
about that print, and you didn't post it.
I couldn't.
I know, but
but
it
it
was
was the
just.
coolest-
But I felt horrible about that because
Yeah.
I was like, "This is you." He did.
It was
We
cool.
gotta show you that shirt, Christy. It's
He
beautiful.
made it look like this shirt was lit up. It was.
Yeah. Yeah, we did a halftone on the
Oh, cool.
on the neon a little bit. Yeah,
Yeah, I
we
would
were-
love to see it. Y'all should text
Yeah,
me a
we-
picture of it.
We should bring it back.
Yeah, you could.
We should bring it back. Yeah.
You got to. It's got to be done on an auto to get the halftone right.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
It was perfect. So that was probably our best selling design. We came out with a couple after that, but that was like, you always compare it to that one and you're like,
Yeah.
damn.
That was a good one. Yeah, lightning in the bottle on that one for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can take any saying and make it into a T-shirt. You know, but it's
Listen,
it's
I
catching
hear about them
lightning in the
all day
bottle.
long on the phone. I got
That's
a
a
great
t-shirt.
idea for
I
a
got a great idea
T-shirt.
for
I'm like, oh, really?
Please do tell.
Please tell me
I
about
can't
your
wait
idea.
to hear.
Okay. All right. I mean, it's getting pretty. Yeah.
Yeah. So, you guys are into screen printing now. It's going well.
Yeah, it goes. It's busy. We
That's
definitely
good.
stay booked with it.
That's awesome.
So I think you guys did right by getting a manual first, for sure, because you got to appreciate the process, and then, but you know, there comes a time, a year in for me for manual, and I moved to an auto. So if you're tired, if your girl is tired at the end of the day, if she's working, she's overworking, and the elbows
I
hurt.
remember when you got your automatic.
The elbows hurt.
Yep.
That was it.
Were you fangirling him like he was fangirling you
I
when you got your
was.
first shot?
Jeremy and I have always had a very I don't even want to say odd relationship, but it's always been like so I called him out of desperation. Like the first time I ever talked to him, I just looked up screen printers in Rock Hill, and I had an issue, and my trust was compromised a very wrong way with another screen printer. And I called him and I was like, I mean, are you going to try to take my business? Like, if I send you contract stuff, are you going to take it? And he was like, no, why would I do that? And I was like, well, how soon can you have a job done?
Right.
Like, it was just, I was so defeated when I reached out to him. And then, you know, we would kind of play off of each other. Like, I even helped him with some embroidery before he got his embroidery machine. And then I sent him my Lynn, who retired, and we don't agree with that.
No.
Lynn is the dumbest thing
That was the
ever.
weirdest. Like
Same.
Len, you met Len
Exact
from
same thing
Happy.
happened to us.
the woman that was
Oh.
here. Like
she retired.
She just retired out of the blue.
None of us knew.
Oh.
Just like,
Like, we called her to order a new machine, and they were like, "Oh, she's not here anymore." And I'm like, "Since when?"
Weird.
Yeah.
I feel like I just saw her.
that's
You
what I'm
did.
saying.
You did.
It's the weirdest thing. Anyways, go on.
So, despite the fact that we disagree with her decision to retire, I sent him our customer for that. And, you know, we've always had that relationship where we could genuinely talk business and see what each other has. And
I
mean,
think
the
I
first thing he
posted
did-
one thing that we did for her, and she was like, "Hey, the customers saw that," and I was like, "Sorry, I probably shouldn't have posted that."
Yeah.
And that was the end of that. But
So, I mean, but we've definitely he called me when he got an automatic, and I was like, cool, we're coming over. And he was
Yeah.
on Ebenezer. We rode straight over and looked at it, and I was like, this is so cool. And
yeah,
that shop was so small, and seeing it fit in there. And same with us. I mean, we've asked him, we've had to come over here and print films when, we can't get our film or our ink or. I did. He was on vacation. I was like, Jill, I need to print a film. And she's like, I don't know how to do that. And I'm like, I do. Where is his stuff?
Yeah, that's great.
So, but we definitely
When we
have
partnered
had
up for
fangirling
that
times.
charity thing that we did.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Yeah.
For Sawyer Strong. We
Yeah.
did. And anytime we do anything, we always try to rope him in. But sometimes he's doing big grown-up stuff and he can't, which is weird. So we tried to get him to dress up like a girl for a charity event, and he had grown-up stuff to do. But anytime we do something, we do typically try to involve you.
You guys need to do grown-up stuff too.
No, that
Yes,
sounds
you do.
horrible.
So I will say that, like, you said you saw that you've never seen the digital squeegee. You've never seen, like, and I was doing grown-up stuff when you called. Like, I was at Print Hustlers and I was at ISS Long Beach. First time last year doing both of those things, or this year one. Game changer. Like, I don't want to miss any more of them. So, like, you just it's a passion. Like, if you're having a passion, it's awesome networking
And our
opportunity.
passion for printing is such a new passion because we are screen printers now, but before it was just a service. Like, it wasn't necessarily like our passion. And now the more we learn about it, but it's hard. It's a double-edged sword because the more passionate we get about screen printing, the harder it is to have the same passion for boutique. And it's not that we don't love boutique, but boutique has been a very large part of our business for the entire time that we've had it. And we have a lot of passion, but you can only have so much at one time. And so when we're really trying to focus on print, we suffer in the boutique. And the same goes on the other hand. But there is a huge print market in the boutique world, whether it be wholesale or whether it be printing your own stuff so that you have a higher profit margin. There are some wholesale boutique t-shirts that wholesale are $25.
Oh my gosh.
Right? And you're like, that is
Why aren't we selling
unlabeled
boutique
Bella Canvas
t-shirt?
tee. Yeah.
Oh, sometimes it's an unlabeled Porton company.
Correct.
Exactly. And their markups are, anywhere from 2.5 to 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, they're selling these t-shirts for $50 to $60. They're graphic t-shirts. And we all know what they cost to make.
Yeah.
And so we try to keep things fair.
So there's
as far as that goes, but you're looking at these other boutiques and they're like, wow, they're selling that t-shirt for $50. And for the first time in my entire life, we went to Texas to my daughter was showing in the youth cutting horse thing. So we went to Will Rogers in Fort Worth. And they have a big vendor market behind there during that show. And I went back there and there's this little boutique and she is selling, it was a Next Level graphite heather t-shirt. And it had almost like a really, really thin canvas, big front on it that was just sublimated. And it was tack stitched on. And I was like, oh, it's beautiful. I have to have this because one, I got to show Amber. And two, I got to figure out how to make it. And I mean, I paid $40 for a t-shirt and I know how much that t-shirt cost.
Oh my gosh.
It's crazy.
People
Just
do
figuring out
that.
how to do it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They see them. They're like, that's gorgeous. I have to
there
have
was-
it. And they'll pay $40 for a
There's
t-shirt in
a
the boutique
Vans
world.
store. There's a Vans or some kind of skate shop, like urban store, like at the Charlotte outlets.
Mm-hmm.
And we walked in there and we're like, oh, cool. These are really cool designs. Like, there's all these graphic tees, right?
Correct.
And so I'm looking at them and I'm like, label, trying to find the inside label, PC54s. $30.
A Vans t-shirt?
Yeah.
Wow.
On a PC54. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, and it's because of a color. Now the other ones were something else. Like, and you didn't know what they were, right? But it was like a certain color. Oh, well, it's PC54.
Yeah.
Like, mind-blowing. Different shirts, different colors, same design, still $30. Like, and you just know better, right? But yeah, so boutique, because there's an opportunity there.
There's the opportunity. And as much as we have, when we came to your open house, the watching the equipment, and it's so easy to get starstruck. You know, you come into a shop like yours, which is one of the prettiest shops I've ever seen.
Thank you.
And you're like, we could do this. Like we could grow and have more equipment. And then for us, the off change for that is we give up a side of our business that we built and grew on.
That's your passion.
So, and
That's your passion.
We find that middle ground. It's affordable fashion. We in York, we have a lot of, you know, there's not as much as disposable income in York as there are in other places. And being able to print our own graphic tees allows us to open up a so-called boutique market to a customer that wouldn't necessarily be a boutique customer. And we still are very involved in the community. And so as we fangirl like crazy when we come here because it's beautiful. But at the same time, for us to grow to that level, we would have to completely give up that side of our business.
Yeah. And all right. So one, and I know I shared this last time, but I fangirled over when you guys got your shop, right? Like I did. Like I was like, this is like one day I'll get a shop, right? And you had a retail shop, and I was like, yes, like this is so cool.
You were the first person, other than our spouses. You came before any of our friends.
Yeah.
You were the first person that came out to support us.
It's like we were like
That's
Jill
so
and I
cool.
were like, we have to go because we have to see this because like I just quit my job, like I'm all in.
Yeah.
And I got to figure this out. Right. So it was very cool. And I mean, what's right for us is not right for y'all necessarily. And that's okay.
That's what's really cool about this industry.
That's perfectly
is that
okay.
everybody can be doing their own thing in different ways and be wildly successful on their level of success and what success means to them in this industry. You know, like we don't want such a big production shop that we don't know all of our employees and, you know,
Right.
or have this
Or your
relationship
customers.
or our
And
customers.
That's one thing we love and we've had a really hard time ever hiring for the position is we really don't want to take away. We don't want to put anybody between us and our customers, but that's hard.
It is
That's a
hard.
really hard position to stay in as you grow and you earn the freedom being a business owner. You know, you've eventually got to put some money in front of the customer. But we have always, our passion is definitely with people and community, and whether it be helping other people get to where they need to be or being in the community. And for us, for a long time, screen printing felt like we were going to take that away, but it hasn't. It's grown it. We've been able to. The little youth sports leagues are phenomenal, and you know, but it's there's definitely you have to find the avenue of print that you want to be in.
Yeah.
Because there's tons of them.
Yeah.
And you know, anybody can be a screen printer.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't want to be the same screen printer that is beside you, and you don't want to try to take their customers, and find where you fit in that industry.
Yeah. So, you guys are all over the place with the things that you do, and it's super exciting. I love hearing about all the little baskets of business that you have. What do you think is next for Sweet Tea Refill?
What are we saying?
Well, you
okay,
each can
so-
answer on your
Well,
own.
yeah, please. Each answer on your own.
Okay, for me, we, like she said earlier, we both had different ideas on how this business was going to go. When I wanted my cute little shop downtown, I wanted like a little westernish boutique. I'd been to several and I just loved it. Like it's my style. My daughter was in the horse world, and that's just what we did. And I wanted to be able to do monograms on that stuff. I wanted to be able to have cute little T-shirts and stuff like that. So I wasn't screen printing. I wasn't even using transfers. It was vinyl for me. All vinyl. I would order transfers from Pro World Ink, but they're not custom. They were like ready made, and it would be like barrel racers or whatever. And I was like, oh, I can do this. This will be cute. Eventually I'll get Ariat and I'll get, Wrangler and all the things. It's going to be great. Whereas Amber, she's the leggings girl, and she wants all
wear
that.
blue jeans. They put me in bad moods.
So she wants athleisure. And so we kind of met in the middle on that. although I love that idea and I love that boutique world, I also love having weekends off with my husband now that my children are grown. Not that I didn't love weekends with my kids, I just never had that opportunity. But I like the print side. I want to do the numbers, and I want to answer a few emails, and then I want to go back there and work. I don't want to sit there and do emails and artwork. I mean, I can do anything you want me to do in Surecuts a lot. I can do any of it. And then I'm like, I have to learn how to do Corel Draw. That was the first one I learned with you was Corel. And then now, we can't use that anymore. We got to use Adobe Illustrator. How do I do this? Like I can do Photoshop, but what do I do with this? And so I've learned how to do it, but it's not my favorite thing to do. For me, in a perfect world, eventually to be a part of the boutique world, it would be more of the wholesale side, the graphic tees. And we go back to that a lot. We wouldn't have a Main Street storefront. As much as I love downtown York and I really don't want to leave, I know that in order for us to grow and be successful, eventually we will have to pivot. We will have to do that. So that's for me. Yeah.
We have actually heavily talked recently about the future steps for Sweet Tea. And as I don't want to say we get older because we're not old, but we're 10 years in. That's a long time to do this.
It is,
you know,
yeah.
there's been a lot of pivoting. There's been a lot of business transformations. There's been a lot of learning, and we have actually already started a very small portion that we would love to see individually, like us, but together, but eventually break into the education world for print.
Okay.
So we are not as knowledgeable as Jeremy on printing, but what we are knowledgeable on is how everyday people like us can get their hands in this. Do you want to stay at home with your kids? Do you want to, we've got so many avenues of this industry that we are, I don't want to say experts in, but we've nailed it. We're we're the only boutique around here that does what we do. We're the only one that has every channel that we have, from live sales to app to website to storefront to, there's a lot there. We love to learn. We are both nerds. Give us something to read. Please give us a book. Like, we share books. So, I'll read one, she reads one. We just love to learn. But more than loving to learn, we love to teach. I still teach. I coach. I coach, and I always have. And I never want to give up the passion for helping others learn things, whether it's tumbling, whether it's printing, but we have started that. We've actually already released a Facebook page and an Instagram.
Oh, cool.
So,
do you want to plug that?
Can we?
Yeah, absolutely.
So we have an Instagram. It's called Spill the Tea. That one is still very new. We do have a private Facebook group that we are kind of gatekeeping for women business owners only. That will have monthly, I don't want to call them meetings because I don't want it to
Just
sound
meetups.
scary, but things where we will discuss things nobody told us. Like, let's talk taxes, let's talk insurance, let's talk bookkeeping, let's talk suppliers, it doesn't even have to be in our industry, just in general, things that set us back because we learned the hard way, that we have nailed, we've figured it out. Let us help you. No need for you to figure that out the hard way. So
Or let them help us. Or
Right.
It's a learning process for all of us. It's hard not to go to the whole male versus female thing in business, but it really is hard to be, and I'm sure you understand this. It is hard to be a woman business owner because I feel like a lot of times, not all the time, but a lot of times we're not taken seriously. Like, we are. Somebody said that they couldn't believe that Matt let Amber quit her job to tinker. Was it
Look
tinker?
at her
Piddle.
face.
Piddle.
To piddle all day long. So it's like, we're not always taken seriously. But we want to encourage other women, especially younger women, that you can do what you set your mind to, and
absolutely.
you are as brilliant as you think you are, and we can all do this together.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that. Like, I don't get into that a lot with people, but in the past year, you know, I've had a couple of conversations with people where that comes up. Like, I had a brand new client reach out to me, and he was like, okay, now tell me exactly why I should hire you. And I was like, well, let me tell you who I am. And this is why my prices are what they are. And he just like kind of was quiet, and he was like, okay, good. But I had never had anybody like interview me in that way to print their t-shirts, you know, like it was like, tell me why you're worthy to print my t-shirts. And I was like, would you really say this to somebody
the customer
else?
Jesse answers.
Yeah.
Not me.
I will say that when Jill first moved down here, she was a nurse, like, and so she was working all the time. So she would work the entire week, or I would work the entire week. She would work the weekends, and the moms, like the church moms, the different moms, would be like, "Why are you working?" You know, like,
Yes.
right? And it's a Southern thing, and it was something for us to get used to. So I think maybe that Southern thing plays into it a little bit as far as that struggle, maybe.
I agree with that.
I agree. And we're in York, which we love our town, but it's definitely delayed growth around the clock. But we always joke because there's a group, I'm not going to call them out because I absolutely love most of the people that are in there, but there is a group, and it's a club, but it's business, and it's money, and it's finances, and it's men only. And I'm like, y'all should be called the He-Man Woman Haters Club, because we too have finances and invest and things like that. And so we always joke, and we're like, well, we're going to create a women's club. But that's kind of where the spill the tea came from. And eventually, we would love to get our business to a point where it doesn't require us daily to run, so that we can push more on the education side of it, because we are very passionate about it.
Yeah, and I don't know, Jesse, when we printed the shirts for the charity, I remember talking to you, and I was like, I have this idea about bringing the screen printing community together like a brewery, like, you know, and I was like, I just don't know what it looks like. I don't know what it's like. Is it a chamber of commerce? Is it somehow like we're friends, but nobody else is friends? Like, how do I get these other people together? And
I think you're doing it.
this is it.
Yeah.
This is what Born Into, but like Christy like had to put that in like into reality. Like, she had to put it in the universe and be like, this is why aren't we doing this? And I'm like, why aren't we doing this? You know, and from that point on, so it was an opportunity just like y'all.
Yeah. But that was even funny. You know, you guys talk about the business and how people didn't support you at first. The podcast was kind of like that. They were like, oh, another podcast,
Great.
you know, great. And like, why are y'all going to have a podcast? And I was just like, well, I just want to.
Right. The fact that we got 3 sponsors off the get was like, how did you guys get sponsors? You're nobody, you know? Right. And then the next thing you know, we're like, oh, you're a baby podcast.
Yeah, that's the latest and greatest.
You're a baby podcast. And now we have 4 sponsors that pay us to talk about screen printing.
And they're wonderful.
And they're absolutely
like the
wonderful.
best sponsors in the industry.
I know. And we're like, man, like, come on, be happy for us, give us some credit too.
And they're listening to you in Oklahoma every time you put a podcast out. So you're obviously, you guys are doing something right. I think it's fantastic what you've done, and I love listening to them. I'm sure I've missed a couple, but I have recently discovered that I like podcasts over the last couple of years, and
I love them.
I love it. And I'll
everybody's
just, over music, I'll put it on in the car and I'll just listen.
They're great when you're printing too.
Yeah. And so, Amber, I'll encourage you, like, you're a coach. You can coach more than just cheer. Right. You can coach more than just whatever, gymnastics. And You can coach printing, you can coach boutique, you can coach business, you can coach all of that. Y'all can do it, right? I'm doing
Thanks.
it. People pay me to come into their shop and teach them how to print.
Right.
And
we've all been in the industry the same amount of time.
All have been in the same amount of time. So
Right.
like I've actually made trips to other states in other areas and walked into a shop and taught them how to print from scratch.
That's amazing. And we've spent a lot more time on this than we really even want to say, because we've wrote an entire book, ebook, and we haven't published it, but because of course we're terrified. That's the real thing, writing our ebook. So our ebook is written and it's putting it, but it's, we have to make sure that our shop is equipped with the right people and they have the knowledge that they need. And that is why we've just posted that we're hiring and we need that other position, because without being able to give our own employees the education and the power that we want to give other people, we're not ready, and we aren't ready because we need another person.
That's a really good point, because, and we've addressed this on previous podcasts, like the growth that we experience at times because of decisions we make. Like there's times where I've been like, oh crap, I was not ready for that, but I thought I was, but I didn't fully think it through. I was just like, okay, that sounds great. Let's go.
But if we're going to preach education, it starts with us. I mean, our shop is equipped, but not without us. We're two people. We're a partnership, and we both are hands-on every single day. So we really, to be efficient, would need to hire two people. But we're going to start with one. Let's start slow.
Yeah.
But, but ideally in the future, we would love to see us on the education end of things, whilst having a shop that didn't require our hands in the paint every day.
That's where we're trying to be. We still want to do our thing. And let the shop run still by itself, and it is self-sufficient, I think, for the most part.
Yeah, I just want to be in all of it, though.
Yeah,
that's our problem. We genuinely want to be
like
there.
The other day, the washout booth clogged, and I was like, I'll do it.
Yes. Alex, I called Alex from Chicago. We're in Chicago for SNS Activewear. Let us come out and do their preview. And they were like, we're there, and she's like, the booth is down, and Jason can't wash screens, and I'm like, and I go, Alex, how was it cleaning out? Did you fix it? And he was like, I tried, but Christy was like, give me gloves, I'm in.
I was so excited to do it, and then when I got home that day, I was like, why? Analyzing myself. I'm like, why was I so excited? I'm like, oh, because I'm selling all day now, and I'm not in the grind. So I was like, oh yeah, I'll do the most disgusting thing. I don't care.
Right.
Let's go.
Yeah, they were like, it smelled terrible, and Christy was right in there the whole time.
It was horrible.
That's crazy. But I mean, we enjoy being back there. We enjoy being at work in general. But if we do talk a lot about where we want to be, in a perfect world, what would it look like? And we both really like that side of it. So.
Oh, that's so awesome.
Yeah.
I love that. And I don't think anybody else on the podcast has said that before. So I'm excited for you guys in that respect. So I feel like we should wrap up the podcast, but Jeremy and I have this thing, and if you listen to the podcast, you know what's coming. We are just really into, when we started this, we said we wanted to have a passion for our work and a purpose for it at all times. And every person that we interview has a different passion and a different purpose, and you too may have different ones. So
Yeah, give us your passion.
today,
give your purpose.
What is your passion and what is your purpose?
So I was never the outspoken one. I never wanted to be in the spotlight. I wasn't, speaking up for myself. And over the past few years, I have gotten better at that, much better at that. And so my passion is helping other small businesses or small business owners, or even young people who want to be a business owner, find their voice. Like, what's your why? where do you see yourself in 5 years, and how can I help you get there? Like, I want to help. That is probably one of the biggest ones. The other one is being present in the community and helping anybody as much as we can. So that's, if we're blessed enough to be able to go to work every day and bring home a paycheck and have a profitable business, I want to be able to help someone else in my community.
Amber?
Was this for business?
It doesn't
No,
exist.
it's just
Oh, okay.
today.
General.
What's your
Okay.
passion and what's your purpose? Like whatever
So-
hits your gut.
It happens. So it may not be
So-
business.
Right. Okay. So my passion in general is, and I hate to say at home, but like from a young age, I wanted to be a mom.
Yeah.
I was raised by a single mom. And so there was a lot of times, because my sister was older than me, where it was just us. But I remember I had a job, and my school called, and my daughter she had a fever, and my husband had been sent out of town. It was when a hurricane came through, and that he used to work who is like FEMA or somebody sends them out of town. So anyways, long story short, it was like 2 hours before closing time, and they told me no, I could not go get my kid. And I was like, I'm going to get my kid. Like, did you tell me no?
Yeah,
Like, I was
yeah.
appalled, and I was like, I could not believe that I just got told no. So, I mean, my passion is at home, genuinely. Like, my husband, my kids, my work. I take pride in things that I do, whether it be home or work. So that is always a big thing. And as y'all just know, I really enjoy coaching. I really, in any, not just the tumbling, but just in general, I help people. As far as work goes, I love what I do, and I really loved the job I had before this. I worked for an amazing dentist, but it wasn't the same. Like it just wasn't the same, and as working for yourself. And I mean, it's when I was in school, and you're a cookie cutter. Like, do you want to be a teacher or a doctor or a nurse or an attorney? You know, there was no like, did you know you can open up your own business? Like,
Right.
you don't even need anything. And so I had to do the college thing a couple of times, business and then dental, before I really even figured it out. And now I'm doing business, but not the business I went to school for, you know? And so I'm definitely raising an entrepreneur. She has a couple in her family too. And my
That's awesome.
passion is, you have some too. And raising an entrepreneur is hard work.
very
Mama, I'm
hard.
sorry if you're listening.
He's got a lot of ideas in his life.
Raising an entrepreneur is super hard, but you know, just enjoying what I do. I enjoy coming to work. I enjoy working from home. I enjoy going to other people's work. I get excited about other people, what they do. And when I was in school, I wish I would have known that entrepreneurship was a normal, okay avenue. You know, goes back to the education. I wish our schools would teach an entrepreneur class, you know, but just entrepreneurship in general. I recently made a very irrational impulse buy.
This has just gotten spicy.
I bought an ice cream truck.
Oh gosh.
So
Where did that come from?
I genuinely don't know how to stop. Like, I have to be going at all times, because I feel like I don't know what to do when you don't have something to do. So I bought an ice cream truck, and people think I'm nuts. But I
Really?
yeah, we really do actually think I'm nuts. But it's mine, and it's like I can do it if I want to. I don't
that's
have to do
great.
it if I don't want to. But you
That
know,
is fun.
you either have an entrepreneur mindset or you don't. And I've had one my entire life, but I didn't get to experience it until I was an adult.
Yeah.
Until after I had children. And entrepreneurship in general is my passion. And my daughter will 100% be an entrepreneur. She's tried to take a briefcase of snacks to school and sell them.
Yeah,
She started
that's
a
what
candle business.
mine won the
She's-
chocolate bar sales contest for 5th grade.
Jackson won the like the food ticket giveaway thing, and won an
Right.
Xbox One, and he thought he was the coolest guy in the world.
Yeah, so I mean, entrepreneurship in general, it is such a unique mindset. You either get it or you don't. you know. And
Yeah,
so
I have
when
one
I
that has
tell
it.
other people that not only do we have sweet tea, but then I have the ice cream truck, people are like, okay, yeah. Like you either understand it or you don't, you know? So entrepreneurship in general is a big passion because I think it's okay to fail.
Yep.
Yeah, everybody's scared of that. We were scared of that. Still scared of that.
Yeah.
Because we could still fail. I mean,
Yeah.
but then we would just do something else.
When you're failing, you're learning.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you don't lose, you learn, and that's just something that as an entrepreneur you just know. Yeah.
Right.
So I guess to sum it up, my passion would be just anything for my kids. Like I want to be able to be there, be present, but in general, when it would come to business, just entrepreneurship, not just printing, anything you can do. I'm amazed at the people who have figured out how to come out of high school and solicit to a couple businesses. They manage social media. They make more money than I've ever thought about making. They work from home 3 hours a week and sharpen crayons the other 6. And, you know, it's like, what? Really?
Yeah. So
You know?
I'll put in, I mean, so your passion is entrepreneurship. Your purpose is your kids.
That makes more sense. Yeah. I like that.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, you guys are such a treat. I'm so glad you came
Yeah.
over and shared some cider and some cookies. Those cookies were
They
bomb.
were amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I ate mine really fast.
There's more.
On camera.
On camera. I don't care. C is for cookie. It's good enough for me.
But thank you guys so much. We love knowing you and we love having you on the show.
Yeah.
And how can people reach you if they want to
Yes.
follow you on social media?
Okay, we are Sweet Tea Refill on Facebook and Instagram, and then our website is sweettrefill.com.
And we're STR branding on TikTok.
Yes.
And
that
what's
one.
your new kind of thing called?
Spill the tea.
Spill the tea is your
That's the
your
Instagram.
Instagram, and then
The
you have a
one-
private Facebook.
The Facebook group. We try to keep it exclusive to women for lots of reasons.
I
but
can't go.
tell
I
Jill
know.
to join.
I tried to join the Print Girl Mafia and I couldn't.
Oh, we love that page.
We do love that page.
So, but that one is She Spills the Tea. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Awesome. Well, you guys have a beer? You want a cider with you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guys, thank
So
you so much for
cheers.
being on the show, and cheers. And thank y'all for tuning in. Till next time.
Cheers.
see you later.
Yeah.